The Chicago Bulls come storming back against the Sacramento Kings to get a win on the road. We're going to be talking about the key takeaways from last night's win. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so last night, the Chicago Bulls were able to beat the Sacramento Kings 128-116, and it was all about the Bulls just hanging in there as they were able to come back from being down by as many as 19 points and just overcome a hot start by the Sacramento Kings. And so before we go ahead and jump into the box scores and take a look at just the key takeaways from last night's win, I first want to remind you that 72.2% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and you slam dunk on that subscribe button, as it means a lot to us here at Bulls Digest as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the box score and look at the key takeaways. And so we always like to start with the MVPs. And so MVP number one for me was Coby White. I think that Coby White was relentless at getting downhill in this game. I love the fact that he continues to draw contact. He had several and ones in this game. And look, let's start there. He was 13 of 14 from the free throw line, 10 of 18 from the field. It wasn't a great night from downtown as far as shooting the three ball, but man, Coby White really took off in the third and the fourth quarter, had 35 points. He had a rebound. He had 5 assists, but he was plus 10. Coby White leading the way. And so this is what you love about Coby. This is now the 11th straight game where he has had 20 or more. And so Coby is really on a roll. He had a terrific game last night. And so next, I want to go into MVP number 2, and then that goes to Vooch. And so I think that Vooch, coming into this, look, we know that the energy level, maybe it hasn't been there since the trade deadline. Not sure, if he's really, kind of wondering, man, why am I here with the youth movement kind of taking off in full effect? But look, he played very well in this game. He was certainly engaged. He had 24 points. He had 14 rebounds. He had 8 assists. So he almost had a triple-double. And man, he had it going from downtown. Look, 4 or 5 from deep. He was 9 of 14 from the field. He was plus 18. I must say that this was probably one of the better efforts that I've seen from Vooch in, quite some time here on the second half of the season. So it was good to see that from Vooch. And so next up, MVP number 3 for me, it goes to Kevin Huerter. I think that Kevin Huerter, look, he was a man on a mission out there in this game. He had 25 points. He had 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. So he was all over the place. Defensively, he was all over the place as far as getting rebounds. He had 2 huge three-pointers late, just about in the same spot, a stare down to the Bulls bench. Look, Kevin Huerter was locked in. He certainly wanted to win this basketball game. He was 10 of 16 from the field, 5 of 9 from deep in 37 minutes, a huge plus 16. So Kevin Huerter, MVP. And look, he's definitely moving a lot better in this offense. I've said this. He's starting to look a lot like he did when he was playing for the Atlanta Hawks, and you see that in this game. And that was one of the things that he had talked about, that just it really wasn't there with the Sacramento Kings. And so you got to give him a lot of props for coming back and getting the W where he used to be. And so next, I wanted to go into the rest of the team and just some of the key takeaways from their performances last night. And so starting with Tre Jones. And so Tre Jones, he had a fabulous game. Look, he was right there as far as being an MVP in this one. He had 15 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He was plus 8. And yet again, I think that terrific off-ball movement, just his ability to get downhill, get up to the layups and things like that. Look, he was 6 of 10 from the field, but just super impressed with just how he continues to take advantage of his opportunity in the lineup. But unfortunately, he did hurt his foot. It was an assist to Kevin Huerter where he knocked down pretty much a dagger 3 here. And so it looks like that what the reports initially were saying, I think it was Casey Johnson saying that it was a mid-foot sprain. And so once we get an update, we'll be talking a little bit more about just what that means for the Bulls and the impact there. But Tre Jones had a very good game, but unfortunately he goes down late in the game in the fourth quarter. And so next up, Buzelis. And so look, Buzelis, 5 points. He had a rebound. He had a block block shots. He had a -10 in the plus-minus box score. 15 minutes of play. Wasn't the greatest game for Manas Buzelis, but again, like I say before, it all comes down to you have to be able to have a balance between not only going out and winning games, but you also need to get the player development out there as well. And I get it. Look, the team responded with some other players that we're going to talk about, with Julian, Phillips, and Dalen Terry coming in and playing some big minutes. Obviously, Billy Donovan decided to go with a little bit more of a smaller lineup, didn't go with necessarily the bigs like that. But still, you wanted to see some more minutes from Manas Buzelis, but I think that he grows from this. You still like the fact that he's out there, he's starting. So next up, another player here that I really think stood out for me just looking at the bench here, it's going to be Dalen Terry. So Dalen Terry, 9 points, he had 5 rebounds, he had 2 assists, he had a steal. He was +6, 2 of 6 from the field, but more importantly 2 of 3 from downtown, and he got 20 minutes. And so that was good to see that Billy Donovan went ahead, placed him in the game. I think he's been playing with a ton of energy and effort out there, especially on the defensive end. But this is twice on this road trip that he has really shown that he's found the touch from downtown. So that is huge to see. Julian Phillips was certainly an impact into this game, even though he was not big as far as scoring the basketball. He had 6 rebounds. He had a steal. He was +18 in the plus-minus box score, 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from deep. But you could just really feel his impact. I believe he even started the second half for us. And so good to see that from our bench unit. I think that, man, they certainly could have been MVPs the way that they played, especially with Billy Donovan going with the small lineup. When it came down to just other players, Jalen Smith did not get any minutes, so a DNP there. That was disappointing. Zac Collins, look, he didn't necessarily get the best opportunity as well. 8 minutes in this one, 3 of 4 from the field, -8 as far as the plus to minus box score, 6 points, 3 rebounds. And Patrick Williams, 7 points, did have a nice little dunk there on the breakaway, 1 rebound. He had 3 assists, and he was +2, got to the free throw line in 29 minutes of play. And so, again, the Chicago Bulls were able to just fight their way back, especially after the hot shooting from the Sacramento Kings. Man, it just didn't seem like that they could miss. Malik Monk had 5 3-pointers himself in the first half. And so, look, the Bulls, they hang in there. They fight back. Billy Donovan, he gets teed up. I loved it. And so it was just great energy. The Bulls continue to keep fighting, and that's what all you want to see, with a young team that's still just trying to figure it out. And so next, just looking at the team box score, some of the key takeaways from that. Bulls, they lead in the rebounding department, 40-36 in that, so that was good to see. As far as the turnovers are concerned, the Bulls lead as far as that is concerned, so 14-12 as far as Bulls in the turnovers, 5-2 Kings in block shots, 60-48 Bulls take care of business as far as points in the paint. This is now a couple games where the Bulls have really taken over as far as outscoring teams. That's something that has really been an issue with us earlier on in the season, but it seems like the Bulls have really figured it out, especially since they continue to keep getting downhill on teams. Next up, as far as steals, the Bulls lead that department 9-4, and then 23-8 as far as the Bulls in the fast break department. That is always a plus, especially with the team that wants to get out and run. They want to get up 3-point shots, and I think that that's really the identity of this team. And so as you continue to get those habits developed and you continue to play to your strengths, that is what you want to see in the box score. As far as the field goal percentage, 52.3 for the Bulls, 42.9 from deep. Kings, 47.7 from the field, and 38.5 from 3. And so the Bulls have 32 assists on 45 field goals, so that is always great with the amount of assists to the field goal makes. And so, look, this is a great gutsy win for the Chicago Bulls. It looked like that they were in trouble, but they were able to come back and just continue to fight their way back. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens now with Tre Jones, and is he going to miss some extended time? We still don't have an update for Lonzo Ball. Josh Giddey did not play in this game, and that was something that I think that was expected. We talked about that before, that he probably was not going to play in the back-to-back, and so that's why you love it. I mean, the Bulls were down some players, and they continue to keep fighting and continue to keep figuring it out. So anyway, let me know in the comments what was your key takeaway here from last night's win against the Chicago Bulls. I did not get a chance to get a video up after that one, guys, so I wanted to come back and reflect on it. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about Tre Jones as we get some more injury updates around him and how that's going to impact the Chicago Bulls. So be looking for that. And as we always say, go Bulls. I will see you on the next one. All right, peace.